come here every Friday, so this is sort of like a part-time thing that I do. But go and walk through and actually feel with my feet, where is those spongy areas? Because what does that mean that it's spongy? Does anybody know if it's spongy in the ground?
Air.
Air, that's right, yeah.
Plenty of organic matter.
Organic matter, and there's structure there.
Breathing.
That's right, so that's really important. And the main thing we'll talk about is the IMO, the indigenous microorganisms that help to build the structure, the soil. So I want to walk through, I want to see what the plants are doing. Yesterday I just harvested, well, not really harvested, but just chopped down all of the brassicas that were just full of whitefly. But as I'm walking through, there's a soft spot there, let's go have a look under there. Oh, there's a really compact spot over there, let's have a look and dig through the soil, dig through the past the mulch and see what's down there. And that helps me to sort of see what's going on and where. Who's learnt a little bit about the soil and the importance of the microbes in the soil? Most people? Yep. Yeah, so you know that the plants attract microbes through exudates, through the carbohydrates that they put out. That's how they mine minerals. Okay, so everybody's basically on that. I don't have to go too much into that, right? Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's go have a bit of a walk through here. Have a look at some of the soil over here. And just watch these pegs here, because I have whacked my feet on these pegs a couple of times. They're really... you can see that we're using wood chips here. This is a no-till farming method. It does have its own challenges, because especially when we first put the wood chips down, wood chips are highly carbonaceous, and they were drawing some of the nitrogen. And until I figured out that I needed to add a little bit of extra nitrogen, not necessarily for the plants, but just so that the wood chips started to break down, then we were having some of the, especially when we first planted.
How old is this now, Ben?
Sorry?
How old is this garden now?
So this sort of first section here, this is their veggie bed. This has been cultivated for 3 years.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Right.
So before that, I'll just actually go, you can see those white fields over there. That's what the sand was here. This was hard sand, so weed mat and gravel, blue metal. And then these trays, and this was all seedlings in here, right? So it was gutless. It had been compacted for over 25 years. Nothing here. And then about 3 years ago, I think they built their house. Brett and Megan built their house, and everything that you see from this shade house on this way is their creation, their idea. They built this shed. They built this little. That's where people stay, live in the caravan over there, and help out over here. So yeah, it's been a development. And then they asked me, one of the guys, Ben, that I know, I was working at Perth City Farm, and he saw me doing some Korean natural farming. He talked to Brett, said, "Hey Brett, you should get this guy up here. Let's do that." So it's been the last year that I've actually started using these microbial inputs. But before that, they were adding some horse manure to this section here, a bit over to that section. But when we walk over there, you'll see under the mulch is pretty much just sand. So, feel it for you, trying to increase the speed. In the tropics, you've got the moisture, but if we can build up those microorganisms and collect some indigenous microorganisms, then that's going to help, because that breaks down everything, and it makes the plants really healthy. I was having a look, so you can see we've got this is a bit of clay. So this is the L&B Tree Farm. This is their small property. This is 10 acres. Up at Bullsbrook, they have 150 acres, and we got some clay, some of the red clay from that property over there, brought it over here, and that's one of the things that we've spread out on, especially the veggie area, but some of the other areas as well. Get some clay in the soil. That's going to help with the water holding capacity, but in unison with the microbes. Yep.
Can bentonite clay work?
Any clay is better than no clay, but I like kaolin clay better. I know there's a bit of discussion about bentonite or kaolin clay. The thing with bentonite clay is if you don't mix it in very well, then it will form a layer, an impervious layer, so then you won't be able to get water past there. It also sticks together.
Yeah, clumps.
It clumps together a lot more, so even if you do mix it in, it will eventually clump together more than the kaolin clay, which seems to mix through.
The other thing is it's mined. They mine it from a distance down, bentonite clay. So it hasn't got any living microorganisms in it. So if you do get clay and you are deciding to use it, ferment it first.
Yeah, and he's got some good recipes in his
yeah, I've got. I actually burn clay to make bioceramic, which is a living form, and it improves the magnetism in the soil and makes it a better substrate for the microorganisms to get involved with. Have you got any biochar in here, Ben?
No, we don't have any biochar in there. So you can see this is basically the sand that's underneath there. That is after 3 years of adding organic matter to it. It just soaks up the organic matter. And this is the thing that we're learning. The science is learning is that adding organic matter to the soil is great, but it still will eventually turn to CO2. It gets burned up or used up. What's really important is having plant roots in the ground. When they put those exudates out and the microbes feed on them and microbes die, you're actually making a more stable form of humate. So like the really rich brown stuff. That's going to stay in the soil long term, as opposed to compost, which will eventually off-gas, basically. So.
And do they add chips to this every year, or is this just one layer?
Yeah, we've been adding it. Wood chips. This is the first. Well, this is about a year in from adding wood chips. So this is a different way of doing that. The market garden. This actually whole area was market garden before, and it was a lot for them to manage. And I only come 1 day a week, and it was a lot for me to manage to try and. I don't so much plant the stuff. They'll come in and plant it, but then I look after everything and make sure everything's looking okay and trying to build the soil. So that was a lot to do in 1 day, because really, if you wanted to make this productive as a market garden, you need to be working full time at this.
They planting seeds or as seedlings, Ben?
Both.
Or a mix of both?
Both, yeah. So
you'll struggle with seeds.
There's still stuff like these. I think they're onions or garlic.
Yep.
Chives in punnets that they came in punnets there. But there is some things, obviously, like the carrots were seeded, so you can see it's a little bit. We leveled it off a little bit more, and planted them in the traditional way there. But yeah, let's just have a little bit of a walk through. Maybe there is a little bit of a gap there, and we'll walk through. You can just have a bit of a look. Feel free to dig up some of the soil underneath and just have a look and see. And when I walk through, what I want to see is some of the aggregation in the soil. So like the starting to happen here, you can see the chunks, the clumps of soil. How it's actually looks like. Well, it's aggregates. It's glued together by the microbes, and that's what I want to see. I want to see that happening to the soil, and that is what actually makes that soft. When you feel the softness under your feet, that is because there's all these prills that have air in between, and it gives it a bit more spring, as well as the organic matter as well. So let's have a bit of a walk through there. You can dig in a few sections there. Just be mindful of what plants are growing, and then we'll walk around over that way.